astray in their game plan. So I believe Enigma Galaxy are prepared to, you know, deal with TA at all stages of it.
Yeah, definitely in agreement with how they've been able to adapt to the Templar Assassin. I'd just put them a little bit on edge as well, but the game gets later and later, you're going to be really worried about how the TA and Wraith King, their damage output overall. They are kind of lacking ways. It feels like Radiant's lineup is a little bit easier to execute, but Dire with that potential just to maybe steamroll an advantage. Sanctity getting ages. I am a bit worried on though how much farm he can get afterwards, at least after the lane, because I think Enigma Galaxy C with the Ember and the rest of the heroes, they can just look to invade the jungle and put a lot of pressure on TA.
I'll take that.
Ready. The harass being exchanged in the mid lane, and yeah, I think the big change kind of on that point when it comes to putting pressure on this TA and how this game's going to go is I don't think the TA can kind of solo carry the way she did last game. I think this game is going to come down to more 4-2-3 on the Wraith King. Last game, there wasn't like 4-2-3 didn't need to do as much. He was this like space creating carry. This time around, I think he does need to actually carry on some level because TA has been addressed more with the draft.
Could this be a bit awkward though? Because the Monkey King is perfect with his itemization. We saw it was almost a tempo controlling first item BKB into Diffusal Blade, but it really feels like Wraith King, your only build is pretty cookie cutter. It's like, you know, Phase, Armlet, Deso into Blink. You can't really take a detour away from that.
Yep, I agree. And it's also when you mention both TA and Wraith King want to go Deso. I wonder if they both get it, or maybe one of them just has to skip the item.
So, what's Azio
typically
plan?
you're not feeling good if you get 2 Desos on your team. Maybe that's where Wraith King goes Armlet into some other kind of position, but I don't know. Playing Wraith King without Deso
feels
real nice. Such a cost-effective damage item. If either skips it, maybe, I don't know, at the same time playing TA without Deso doesn't feel good, so double Deso, I guess?
Yeah, and I think that's something the panel brought up in, I think, one of the recent games in Div 1, the fact that one team went 2 Deso builders and then was like, no, it just feels really awkward, like, what are you going to do, and how are you going to build your lineup here? It's just one has to go for something unconventional, and then you know, that's not why they're in the meta. Like, they're in the meta for this Deso build they have at the moment.
A deviation I could maybe think of as like a Silver Edge Wraith King, maybe as an alternative. Like, but it's not the same. We'll see later on. That's that's a problem to work. Get to that point if you're getting these heroes both Deso, you're feeling good about the game.
Yeah, Yoken. It's able to chase down the Vayne under the tower, and Enigma Galaxy C will hit first in our second game. The action continuing to break out as the Grimstrokes need some assistance, but what can Underlord do in the lane when your support's getting chased down from the combo of the Shadow Demon and the Lesrach? You just have to stand there and watch.
Can't do much. I'm sure, and Grimstroke's also saying like, what can Grimstroke do in this lane? I don't have a 3 position. This Underlord, like, your passive does nothing really early on, or like, doesn't really help out the support at any point. Firestorm is like this low damage nuke because you can just walk out of it. So this Underlord Grimstroke lane is super lackluster. All they can really do is just nuke waves and farm. I definitely don't expect Lilgun to be getting any kills or winning this bottom lane. Best case scenario, they just get some decent farm on Underlord.
Yeah, and well, for the boys on Radiant, they have a very high kill threat lane, as we're going to see once again. And just a banishment to set up for the Split Earth. It's a combo that we saw for quite some time in Dota when Lesh was attempting to be flexed as a position 4.
Yeah, Mizu was just keeping them at bay with those bugs. And one more bash and he would have killed either 4-2-3 or Ace there, but Zenith's bottom lane where another kill goes the way of Enigma Galaxy. Grimstroke died once again, so this bottom lane feels like a real weak point of Railguns. Good team top.
There we go, that's a big one. We were saying how weak they were previously, just to be able to pick up the Wraith King there, who's a really strong laner, but again going against the Weaver, who they left in the pool. Yokem, I mean, we're seeing how much work he's able to put with it. He's already got the urn.
Seems like a mega value last pick. Like, there's a reason why most teams are just overall first picking Weaver, and getting it with your last pick to pair with a Spirit Breaker, like, that is some serious value out of a a last pick. And they didn't have that final, like, overall final pick of the draft, so they weren't trying to save it for a core.
Jesus.
Curry is just doing pesky.
Wait, did you see how much was on the courier? I was.
Oh boy.
I can't even list off the amount of things. Double set of Tango, maybe a couple mangoes, a Salve. It was literally all of Bane's net worth pretty much in the resources. So now they're playing. And how are you going to sustain that?
I'm not sure you can easily.
And mid
Maybe
as well.
this is how
Kishka's going to make his movement. They're able to assassinate the Grimstroke at the back of the tier 1 tower. This is just Enigma Galaxy C. You've secured your side lanes this early on, and now you're looking to combine up with the Ember Spirit with this first catapult timing.
Oh boy, that's a great time for moving. That's how you sustain up top, you know? The Weaver, he rotates off and suddenly, at least, you know, Wraith King's a little bit happier, but I don't think Logan as a team are happier because that's a nice find in the mid lane. 5 kills and a lot of damage on this tier 1 tower as they keep this siege wagon alive.
Do they dive? I mean, Sanctity's already lost the refraction charges. Maybe they'll go for the easier kill in the Grimstroke, continuing to stack up the early damage they've done so far with 6 kills to the name.
Sanctity still being pressured, not getting his bottle charges off because of shadow poisons and urn ticks. He can't bottle up. Does have a refraction, so we'll be okay here, but this is so much pressure from Enigma Galaxy.
It's just a completely different outlook on how they can deal with the Templar Assassin. Bring 2 supports to mid, kill the die supports continuously because they have to protect Sanctity. And if you're not getting kills, at least it's the fact that Sanctity's not free farming.
Nice TP home. He left a remnant, so Alacrity can just remnant back to lane if he wants to.
Hey Underlord, what's up, my guy? Let's TP in. Not much a hero can do. Oh, there we go. That's a good combo. What a scary threat.
Yeah, I think it's scary because you're just like, what the hell is this? You know, it's the surprise factor where you're just a big dude who does nothing, being swelled up, and then you walk away.
Again, this is just such a completely different outlook. They've locked up his Ancients. They've got a really deep Observe Ward already at the triangle. Alacrity stole it. I think a double stack would be hard. They're in a little bit of trouble. They're going to try and find the combination with the Ink Swell, but they woke him up too early. So Alacrity's out to safety. Sanctity does get some retribution, though, with a 3 times killing streak over on Yokam.
Bad, but it took a lot of resources. That was like 4 Lilgun heroes, which means both supports are, you know, trying to salvage this game. 43 is getting no help, so he's forced back into the jungle. Doesn't want to lane against the Spirit Breaker with potential, you know, Enigma Galaxy support rotations in. So a lot of farm just going Enigma Galaxy's way. They've got the top 3 net worth heroes early on, and they're going to just keep applying pressure. I imagine, you know, the call is going to be, let's keep fighting once our Lesrach gets an item.
And they're going to keep fighting before he gets it. Bottom lane setting up on 11. Don't have the damage just yet. Underlord still relatively tanky with the early Soul Ring to beef him up. But InYourDream's got enough mana to be able to chase down the Grimstroke, and now even Yokam is looking to provide his extra damage to find the kill onto the Underlord. It's 11. And it's not going to tick him down, but the big issue is you've now got the Space Cow charging across the map as Mizu gets that last little bit of damage. Level 7 available, so he's got the Nether Strike to bounce back the Bane to an extra death.
Yokam dodges the Stroke of Fate. Level 1 only, so not sure what they're going to kill here. Is they're very low on the Enigma Galaxy side here, but they still want more. They want more kills. They're not done.
Wrong button. Actually use the smoke instead of the dust. It's all good.
Oh, yeah, I was like, that's an interesting. He's got no one with him. They'll go for the easier kill. They'll take the support.
And even Ace 12 is going to be cautious too. I managed to dive underneath the tier 1 tower. What are you really worried about? Wraith King's not going to look to get involved. Underlord's no threat. Tier 2 might be a little bit more of a difficult beast to overcome.
Don't you undersell Underlord like that. He just sniped that Shadow Demon kill in the back lines.
Darius bottom tower.
It was like a 100 health Shadow Demon. He's like, oh, I got this.
I got the help of the Atrophy Hero. This is what I built for. That's why they drafted me. I'm sniping heroes. My 335 movement speed. Sanctity's going to try and snipe Alacrity as well. Okay. But who's baiting coup? Who's doing the damage? Alacrity's actually winning the man fight at the moment. A Remnant out to safety, though. He's not going to stick around too long to see if he's going to be the victor or not.
It poisons or could get a little close to that. Could have gone pretty bad for him. 10-minute rune coming up. Ember would love a top rune regen. Arcane rune. He'll take that. Fortunately for TA, Ember can stay active on the map.
All right, so we were putting a lot of emphasis before on kind of the TA Wraith King itemization and how this game's going to fare overall with how 423 can provide his impact. He's gotten a lot of space with all the brawling and skirmishes we've seen mid to bottom. 423's been free farming. Second in net worth at the moment. Is he their angle back into this game?
They're hoping so. I usually Wraith King, though, you need, like, it's not like you just come online with Armlet. Like, some of these heroes, you get Armlet, you're ready to fight. Like, you know, like the Marses and stuff. More the off-laners. Wraith King isn't really that hero. He's only got the 1 point in his Wraith Fire Blast, so it's not like he's really great fighter right now or anything. So I don't think he's their way back in this game yet. Eventually he can be, but the problem is what happens before we get to that point. And you know, Enigma Galaxy are just naturally going to fight better with the kickoff potential of Ember, the put potential of Lesrach, but need to make sure they don't get outnumbered.
No, they're looking to set up top in your dream. And fighting the Underlord at the moment. He's got some assistance with Polison and Mizu waiting in the wings. Now that Lil Gun supports have shown up to the party. Not going to make the attempt deep under the tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Good discipline. Like, they could have gone for and probably killed the Underlord, but they may have lost a hero or two in the process. So they, you know, they say, okay, if he's TPing in, that means the supports are TPing in.
Well, looks like they're going to make the attempt now. I don't know, 11. He's pretty beefy with the help of the cloak, so they're going to target down the supports initially, as Kishka will lose the life, and now, without the tower as well for the extra reinforcements, it's going to be Yokem to find the double kill, but they're not done just yet. The train continues to roll on. 13 kills for Enigma Galaxy C, and they're looking to make it a 14th deep underneath the tier 2 tower.
Really good just team coordination at the tower. They waited, they were patient, then they used the poison to scout and get vision, make sure they know how many heroes are up there. They got vision of the supports. I think prioritizing killing those supports is the key thing if you want to dive that T1 tower, and that's why they didn't hard commit on the Underlord at first, because, you know, that could have gone badly for them. So they chill, they wait for backup to arrive, they dive the supports, take a T1 mid as well to follow it up, or they're looking to. They can get this T1 mid to go with that top tower. This game starts to look really good for Enigma Galaxy.
And this is the powerful thing about the Underlord, though, which naturally we see the hero picked up is to defend towers. But the fact that you've already lost T1 top and now middle feels like a big value of the hero is completely wasted.
Yeah, that is definitely a worry. Like, that is such a good point, because you don't want to be just sitting back. Like, I don't know. I mean, he is a turtle hero, but it's kind of like, what are you turtling for? I don't consider, like, TA this hero that you want to be playing from behind with. And Underlord, typically, if you're, you know, sitting back defending towers, you're often having this carry that's trying to come back into the game. Wraith King, similar-ish story where, you know, he's not going to be able to easily just farm it up and get back into this game the same way, you know, some anti-mage type heroes or the Morphlings can. Even though Enigma Galaxy don't have like a super hard late game carry, they have Lesrach Ember as their cores. They have these heroes still scale well, and they take objectives and map control really well. So they're going to just build up a really big lead, I imagine.
Eva should be okay. Still got Stakuchi and the ultimate to play with. He's even got Mizu as well for some assistance. So a blow up the Bane, and I mean, again, we're just seeing how completely different of an outlook they have on this game. The consistency in blocking up the camps, really just to minimize the farm that TA and the Wraith King can get, but also just the aggressiveness across the map from all their heroes. And they're not done just yet. Mizu gonna look to charge on one of the other supports as Kishka will be finished safely under the tower. Alakri, though, still not really worried about too many stuns. Ace 12 not having the Fiend's Crypt to be able to penalize his position. And Mizu, they're not the damage at the moment, a little bit too deep of an objective to claim. So they try and charge up to the Spirit Breaker. It does leave the Grimstroke vulnerable, but you're pretty happy with the trade that you're getting when you're this far behind.
Yeah, they didn't have all the numbers and the cores there. Alacrity feeling like he couldn't really go diving in. Doesn't have the max out Slide of Fist, so that higher cooldown kind of limiting the plays he could make in that fight, especially once he got Nightmared and Lesrach not there. So think Galaxy back off. They kind of cut their losses. They don't give away any kind of really big, juicy target. The Spirit Breaker dying, you know, nice for Lil Gun, but it's not like a game changer. Watch.
And silently, InYourDream has been getting a lot of farm. Silently, he's 4-0-4. He's still had a lot of impact this game, but almost a Bloodstone completed, and we're just seeing the space that's created. And I guess the one downside to Radiant's lineup is that they can continue to butt their head into Lil Gun, but it doesn't feel like they have the greatest Roshan taking lineup.
Yeah, it gets okay with the bugs and then like the Lesrach damage. Oh, Mizu bites off more than you can chew, yeah.
And our top as well.
Being confused and
4-2-3. A good attempt on Yokam, in fact. There's going to be the supports on Radiant to turn it back around. 4-2-3, still got the ultimate available. They're deep behind the objective, so Lil Gun, they will have the reinforcement to show up in the nick of time with a beautiful pit. They'll look to target down the Lesrach, but he used the Bloodstone active. They won't have the damage to secure the kill previously. And now they can turn it back around as Alacrity's going to get involved as well. It's going to be cautious to Centaur Conqueror, almost playing into the hand of Lil Gun with that extra control. But now Sanctity, he's lost his team, is going to lose his life as well. As Radiant lose no one.
I can't believe they lost nobody there. That looked like a pretty decent bait with the reincarnation. I mean, it wasn't intended to be a bait, but he bought enough time that his entire team could rotate in. Vayne, oh no, going for a snipe on the Ember. Not sure what he was pushing forward for, but he dies as well. Like, the reincarnation bought time for all the rotations to come back. They synergized pretty well with their spells, and their initial initiation from the Underlord was actually pretty good with the Pit of Malice, but they just didn't have the damage to kind of come out on top of the fight, because 4-3, you know, he's not that farmed on the Wraith King yet. Also was on the back foot in TA. No Deso. If they had that Deso on TA, I think that fight could have been really good for Lil Gun.
It definitely looked like the best fight they probably have had so far, like you said, with how they started with the Pit and the Firestorm, but unfortunately just lacking a little bit of damage in the tank. You know, it could cost them a way back into this game, because now Radiant, they're looking to set up for a smoke. They feel like they've hit their timings. Alacrity just finding the Kyre, and they're going to try and brute force up the high ground. Yokam will be leading the charge. They've got okay vision in the area, but to start to find on the Grimshark, he's had enough time to find at least the Salt Mine to minimize Mizu's effect at the moment, but they can turn it back around, landing the Nether Strike on Sanctity, and instantly Refraction taking care of the health soon to follow, and they've still got their high ground ward to play with, so 11 is going to be forced to use the ultimate to Uber out to safety.
Yep, gets out of there. It was actually pretty funny. The ulti, I think Mizu thought he was using Pit of Malice, so he canceled his charge.
Nice.
Oh, we're not done getting killed.
Have the assistance of Mizu.
Dire's middle tower is under
He's just able to turn it back around, getting a little bit too aggressive there. And Fiend's grip without a cancel onto the tower. Surprised about how much damage there was.
Never refuse good.
Moving back to the mid tier 2 tower, maxed out Edict. These towers falling fast, and 19 Bloodstone charges already for InYourDream. 5-0 and 7.
Tower is under attack.
Lil Gun. They need to just find some items to come online soon. That's why this Wraith King's going for this BKB build, so he can just frontline. And again, it's similar to last game, except he's trying to do this on Wraith King, not a Monkey King, but he's almost like playing the same style where he takes the frontline, initiates. But
A tool to
it's just not a good initiator hero.
It's not. I mean, he's trying to make work what he can, but with ulti still on cooldown, 4-2-3's once again putting off a little bit more than he can chew. The reveal the blink not working off in their favor, and now Lil Gun are going to lose an extra hero as well. He'll make him work for it. Look at old Bane just... You think you can heal me? Oh yeah, underneath the tier 2 tower too. Mizu. Just look at the +1 that they can get. That's the thing about the Spirit Breaker. You guarantee a kill. Let's charge on forward and get another, and they're not done. Utilizing their deep vision to perfection as Polison is caught out 11. It doesn't have the demonic purge to use, unfortunately, so 11's okay.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Tier 2 tower, so they can take the outpost. They're running that way immediately, so full map control, full just game 2 control going the way of Enigma Galaxy is there. Just running over.
Sanctity might kill Mizu. Oh no, he didn't get the... He was spraying the trap with the Melody. He should still find it afterwards. All right, that's Desert completed now.
That worked. That's something. It's hard though. They're playing on Dire side, so it's getting Roshan is just. I mean, they're so far behind. Even if it doesn't matter what side they're on, they're getting run over. So getting Roshan is probably just impossible either way. And I think playing TA this game without an Aegis is going to be really challenging for him. I don't think he can finish a BKB. You know, it feels like he's going to get kited quite heavily by things like the Spirit Breaker with the Nether Strike, Weaver and Shadow Demon with the Demonic Purge as well. So there's a lot of things that make his life very hard.
Are you watching this? Just
yeah,
bodying the DD. All right, well, that's Deso. I don't know. You have to take the perfect fight in a choke point where Soulbind gets full utilization, where the pit is perfect, and Sanctity just can, you know, utilize that Deso and side blades.
It's bottle DD. It's kind of those things. If you're taking a fight, you're acknowledging you have to either purge it off with Shadow Demon or just focus the TA and kill Sanctity. Alternatively, you can just stall it out. Like, eventually this DD is going to auto-pop if you wait a couple of minutes. So, you know, they don't have to find this DD if they don't want, but at the same time, this is a TA without BKB, without Blink. So I don't actually think they're going to be that scared of a TA.
And it's actually Radiant that are just looking to move into Roche. They got the bows, they got the medallion on Yoken.
Enough damage at this point. You know, it's not all crazy physical damage, but even with magic damage, killing Roshan, no problem at all for them. No contested side. For Lilga, it's just so hard. They don't have vision up, so they don't, you know, they have maybe an idea that Roche is possible, but they don't know for sure. They could just be walking into a trap, and they don't have any good or easy way to start a fight. They're trying to use Wraith King as that, because they picked Underlord. He's not an initiator, so Wraith King's not working out for them.
A mysterious force.
10,000 deficit in game 2 was very favored for Lilgun in game 1 with how they're able to perform, but I mean, now backed against the wall is we're going to continue to use this net worth advantage just to sweep across the map. They've still got some outer towers left to claim, and it looks like Nick Big Galaxy C are going to play this one very methodical, just going from bottom and then maybe thinking about sieging high ground with the last remaining mid over the ages.
Don't seem aware of Sanctity down this one lane. If the smoke pops, they might figure out that the TA is nearby, and they have got detection, but it doesn't look like they're going to walk close enough to the TA to find Sanctity.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Should Lilgun go for some kind of wraparound play? I just can't see it working. Not without BKBs, and it does feel like King of the Galaxy is going to be the one that can just barrel down these lanes. And even, yeah, they could theoretically threaten high ground here. TA is just cutting waves to try and delay and stall the push.
I'm thinking if Polison goes Agshard next item, maybe you're going to have second Roshan at that stage, but it sounds like it's going to be... that's quite the item to play with the Lesrach.
Yeah, I wonder... Spelling what? Nightmare this game, the roots from the Underl. That does sound pretty damn nice.
Even just the healing aspect, I think, too, of it as well.
Yep.
Because, again, we've spoke about the Oracle is one of the better pairings with the Lesrach, Shadow Demon. It's got a save, but doesn't really have that healing aspect. So if you can look to itemize into it. Who are they running into? Mizu? They'll get picked off. So Lilgun are doing a good job at playing around kind of the only position they have right now in regards to their wards. But Radiant, they've sniffed this out instantly. 4-man maneuver. They're going to try and chase down Ace 12. Who they found instead, though. Like, it's going to be the more valuable targeting Sanctity. So at least try and get a kill before he dies, and he'll be successful at that.
All right. I mean, you take that, not happily because TA dies there, but they did a good job nightmaring the heroes coming in. Well, nightmaring one, the Lesrach coming in, and then just TPing out. But unfortunately for TA, didn't have a good escape plan, so
top tower
TA not ideal, but it's okay. Like, killing 2 heroes for 1, even when you're losing your mid lane at this point, you just gotta take what you can get if you're in Lilgun's shoes. And they can continue to use this vision. They're sniping couriers, they're farming this Radiant jungle. It's just annoying for Nick of the Galaxy because they want to be pressing forward and playing on the enemy side of the map, so coming back to, you know, playing their own jungle is just
4-2-3.
It's a nuisance.
He needs to blink now.
Yeah. Looking for him with the courier, and they don't find him, so again, this is good play. This is how you get back in the game. You just kind of pull them around, try and be like puppeteers and just make them keep coming back to try and hunt you. And then if you can juke them out or just cut, you know, try and minimize, there's going to be some feeding coming in from low gun. Like that's essential for them to win this game. Like they're going to have to just throw bodies to cut waves, split push, doing stuff like that. Like if Wraith King dies there, like, you know, that's obviously bad, but he has to put himself in these positions where he might die in order to get Lil Gun back into this game.
And it does feel like Enigma Galaxy are going to really struggle with going high ground though. You're against an Underlord, you're against the Grimstroke, so just naturally the wave clearing aspect, and also the scary factor of how much damage you can output if you heavily commit with like your TA and a Wraith King. It's not an easy siege by any stretch of the imagination.
Don't commit to the charge here. They're going to poke and prod, wait for the Edict probably, and prioritize the Lesrach being the one to siege. Only 48 seconds left on this Aegis, so you don't have long to really go for this high ground play.
Try and do whatever damage they can at the moment. I mean, see how much the Firestorm is doing, though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Saying not easy to push into this. They're going to have to back off. No high ground with Aegis #1, it seems, but I think the better play for Enigma Galaxy at this point is just kind of slow rolling the game. This is what you see, you know, those top Division 1, Tier 1 teams who go for these late game strats, like even without a true late game carry, they can still just play this like Starvation Dota.
Nice 12.
Kill enemy heroes when they come out of the map.
That's what they're doing at the moment. And now they're even going to look to jump Sanctity too. He's caught outside. He's got the BKB, but they've already burnt through way too much of the health for it to provide anything to the hero. Now Alacrity is looking to catch out some stragglers. Logan quick on the feet back inside the base, but with 2 heroes down, let's see if they can start to poke the high ground.
They're still just going to be playing, you know, the kind of keep them in their base. They're going to look to just shepherd Logan into their base so they're not farming. Like the game, I think this best game plan for them right now isn't going for these like high ground pushes. Weaver
Top lane
gets ganks. That was a cheeky little smoke play. They just smoked out with 2, knowing Weaver was there, and they pick him off. But yeah, Enigma Galaxy want to just play like the farm game where they're farming more of the map than Logan are, and any Logan heroes that leave their base, you want to hunt them down, but you got to be careful not to, you know, spread your resources too thin. That's kind of what was happening there with Yokam being a little bit greedy, playing top side of the map by himself, and Logan recognizing it. So you don't want to get picked off. That's how Logan get back in the game.
Do you feel like the bottom? 11's right. Do you feel like there might be value for an earliest gem for Radiant, considering how much of an issue it's been just with the vision that Logan have had?
100%. Yeah, that's definitely against TA with the traps, and you're in this game. Whenever you're in that position where you're trying to starve out your opponents, keep them bottled up, force them to turtle, having a gem to deward their vision is always feels good. Against a TA, doubly so. But maybe interested in taking some fights soonish because they've got that BKB on TA now. So this game can start to look a bit different. Even 4-2-3's got BKB, so well, this game has been old Enigma Galaxy so far. 10k gold lead, 29-11 kill lead. These BKBs do change the dynamic of this game quite drastically.
Dire's bottom tower.
Again, the ideal fight for them is going to be around a choke point area, though, where you're able to lay down the pick, utilize the soulbind to get rid of its high mobility factor, which we're going to see come into play. Velocity blows up the bait. They're looking for the additional time, and it goes back into the pit of Malice. So it's going to be cautious because now they've found a soulbind leash. Can they blow him up throughout the duration? They're doing a great job to control Sanctity. The damage is lacking at the moment. They get double back, baiting them outside the bait, and now the Templar Assassin getting ripped apart as there's no answer at the moment. It's 4-2-3 is going to continue to stand his ground, but they've lost the first line, and now the second round is over and done with. The Polisan further in they go. The buybacks bringing Enigma Galaxy in. They've got to be a little bit more cautious. There's that choke point fight. The Pit of the Firestorm doing a ridiculous amount of damage on InYourDream, and he'll be condemned. 3 down. Nicely done, but again, how much are they going to get out of that in regards to golden experience?
Yeah, they need to try push out these lanes, take some towers or get some follow-up kills, but Mizu's already TP'd out, so good use of the buybacks. Like, if you buy back there just to like save your high ground and not get kills, it sucks. It doesn't feel good. That's how you just, you know, you're throwing away gold at nothing, but getting those kills, sick pit of malice, you know. 3 heroes calling 11 saying, you know, I hear what you're saying about Underlord. You know, this hero can do something, but it's still not looking or feeling great for Lil Gun, but it's little steps in the right direction. The problem is the heroes getting all those kills aren't the heroes you want the comeback gold going to. Wraith King and TA were dead. It was Underlord getting a 3-hero pit of malice and then Grimstroke hitting them all with a stroke of fate to do like some crazy magic damage. I think, yeah, the problem is Wraith King and TA, you know, you want them staying alive, getting killed, and suddenly like being 2,000 gold riggers. Both teams now posturing around. Next Roshan's already respawned, and we'll see if Lil Gun have the ways to kind of scout this one out and play around it. They've got a TA trap in the pit. That's something I don't imagine that Weaver is somebody's going to need some sentries or gem for, because you do not want to give Lil Gun a chance to take Roshan or catch you by surprise when you're going to.
Yeah, and the fact that you brought up just previously is that the important heroes on Dire aren't the one finding the kills, so their trajectory into that next item is just continuing to slow down, where we see Radiant, you know, Alacrity's playing with the Aghanims. We just saw Cam complete his own Aghanims as well now, so multiple defensive factors and a ridiculous amount of magical damage.
Roshan they go, the TA trap being cleared out, so doesn't look like Lil Gun feel like they've got the map control, the vision, or, you know, maybe just they don't feel they're strong enough to contest this at all. They also just don't have a read perhaps on what's going on, because they're smoked up and they're playing down bottom, or invised up on the Bane, not smoked. Not finding any pickoff as they'd perhaps hoped to.
Aegis Aghanim shard as well picked up here for the boys on Radiant. I believe the shard was given over to Alacrity, so yeah, perfect timing as soon as the Aghanims is completed. I'm gonna see just such a messy fight. He's even got Lotus Orb now too, so Alacrity, it's just the name of the game is that extra armor is a big factor. We've seen how Lesrach is itemized, his, you know, Shiva's even holding the blast rig at the moment.
Feels really nice, this Lotus Orb. You can put on the Lesrach when he's high grounding too, so it's like this item that helps you out, but in certain situations, like an Aegis push when you're going high ground, can help out your teammate as well. InYourDream does TP bottom, so Enigma Galaxy say, you know, we're in no rush to push. We'll play the lanes and push them out as well, make sure that we get a bit more farm.
I mean, it's looking pretty grim though. 14,000 net worth lead, about an 82% probability for Enigma Galaxy C, and again, like Lil Gun, it was a different offlaner, but they have stored games out with the Underlord and come back in games where we thought they weren't able to take it. So somehow they're still in this. This game's not over, and we could see a miraculous high ground defense to pull it back in.
Let's go.
Good. Enigma Galaxy's lineup. It's not like they had that hero that, okay, this hero gets farmed, they win the game. It's going to be like a full kind of, you know, team effort. They're looking at that kind of 3-core approach where none of them are these true hardcore late game carries, but they all can at least scale. Like this Spirit Breaker with all the crazy movement speed from an Aghanim, Scepter Charge to do some slow damage, and Lesrach, pretty good high ground here.
That he is. At 11, pretty good high ground defense here as well, as we see how much the damage Firestorm's able to do. But InYourDream, look at the help of the time lapse. Got to be cautious though. Let's see if they actually chop down after the banishment. It's going to be Alacrity that's going to try and create as much chaos in the backline. As they're charging Ace 12, they'll get rid of the Bane simultaneously. The first lap has been taken care of. Lil Gun, are they able to charge up for a second round? Fiend grips out the answer instantaneously from Mizu. They've got the cancellation of Alacrity continuing to jump on top of the back thanks to the help of the remnants, but they're still going to be cautious. They haven't killed off some of the cores. Wraith King, Sanctity still standing their ground, but it's not going to matter. Without the support to back them up, they'll lose the lives and end up taking game 2. As Enigma Galaxy see, it took them some time to get to this stage, but should be a 35-minute victory in the end.
No GG's just yet. I guess TA's buyback just came back up, but surely it's GG. They're going to prioritize going for the lanes. Iraq's not going for the throne, but really solid fight. Just use it. That's how you go high ground. Great job just, you know, putting all these defensive tools on Lesrach. They do end up losing the Lesh because there's some good burst damage from Lilgun, but buying enough time for Alacrity to go in the back lines, and Alacrity just doing a good job understanding the most important part of his role, which is going on these supports. Like heroes like Grimstroke and Bane, you can't allow them to just sit on the back lines, passing all their spells. A hero like an Ember with an Axe Scepter, the perfect hero to hunt them down.
I mean, Lilgun is still looking to battle it out here. They haven't GG'd out just yet. Yeah. 2 full sets.
Well, we're seeing, yeah, Radiant didn't go for the tier 4s of the throne. They may even get the Megas, so I was with you. When you were calling it, I was like, okay, yeah, it looks like 5, no buybacks, like this is just game over, and it probably still is, but they're going to try and play into the Megas. They don't have the Medusa type hero though. TA, Radiant, these are not heroes that play well into Mega creeps, and I think Enigma Galaxy maybe could have just gone for the throne there, but they're in a position where this game feels all but unlosable now.
28,000 lead. Like you said, they don't have that here. I mean, Sanctity's working on the Rapier, but you need quite some time to get to that stage. I don't even know if it matters if he has the Rapier, just everyone else is dying around him, and that's off the back of how Mizu and Alacrity are playing on these type of heroes.
So hard. Like at this point, just having BKBs on these cores doesn't feel like it's enough.
He's gonna win wave.
Yeah, Rapier. Can you even get up to this Rapier? Doesn't seem likely.
Intimacy simultaneously again. Alacrity to jump in the backline, making so much chaos that they can target down the Templar Assassin, who does have a buyback. They need to answer the Fiend's grip, and InYourDream's going to do so thanks to the Wind Waker. They're deep inside the Dire territory, but with such an insurmountable lead, it just feels like Dire, it doesn't even matter how deep back they go. Second life for 4-2-3, but Alacrity still has plenty of remnants to play around with. They've been trying to juke out the Raid 5 blast 4-2-3. They're going to jump in the middle of it all, but Mizu charging on forward, finds the multi-man stun. Finally, the G's are dropped. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a game 3.
Triple kill!
Enigma Galaxy, you know, things are looking up game 1, and you know, this is the must-win series for them to make it up into Division 1.